Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday from Chicago. Yes, so the Democratic National Convention is officially in the books, and last night, Vice President Kamala Harris took the stage in Chicago and officially accepted the party's nomination for president. In her remarks, Harris touched on a range of topics. Let's hear more from the VP's speech at the DNC.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America. The path that led me here in recent weeks was no doubt unexpected, but I'm no stranger to unlikely journeys. In many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious. He plans to create a national anti-abortion coordinator and force states to report on women's miscarriages and abortions. Simply put, they are out of their minds. I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self.
Yeah, I love that speech. I thought it was amazing. I thought she broke down every policy. I thought she talked about herself. It gave you insight of her life. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that speech last night.
I thought it was solid. You know, what I liked about her speech is I get tired of hearing about, you know, how bad Trump is, but she pointed to what Trump has done wrong, but then also pointed to what she wants to do in contrast to that. So,
right.
And she made it easy to understand, too.
Yeah.
When I was
watching
it was solid.
What was crazy, though, I know you guys were actually there, but in between her speeches, the commercials, I guess Donald Trump paid for commercials, they were nasty. So it would go from her speaking or somebody speaking in the Democratic Party about, you know, Democrats, what they were going to do, and then they go to commercial, and it was Trump saying pretty much F everybody. It was crazy.
That's what she should do. Just like she runs her commercials on Fox News. When they going in on her, I think that's good.
I mean, there was so much going on yesterday, but the big thing, another one of the big things was the rumors were false, okay? Beyonce did not make a surprise appearance at the Democratic National Convention. Now, TMZ reported the singer would come out to support Vice President Kamala Harris on the final night. However, about halfway through Thursday night's event, a representative for Beyonce announced that she was never scheduled to be there, and the reports of a performance were not true. The same for Taylor Swift. I mean, there was so much speculation that Beyonce's plane had landed in Chicago, Taylor Swift's plane had landed in Chicago. And if I may, just challenge everyone to just do their research and take what you heard with a grain of salt, you know, especially if it's not firsthand information and it didn't come from the source. Yeah, so
Morgan, you're absolutely right. I forgot about that one. I heard the rumor about Beyonce performing at Soldier Field, but then I did hear that somebody literally said Beyonce's plane landed 2 hours ago.
Yo,
that's crazy.
And then somebody said Beyonce and Taylor Swift are here.
I was wondering how TMZ was going to come back because they broke that story exclusively. They updated last night. They said, to quote the great Beyonce, "We got to lay our cards down, down, down. We got this one wrong." That was a good way to say.
All the way wrong.
Yeah, they got it wrong.
The only thing about that is there's certain places that people go and they really feel like their news is true, right? When somebody dies, most of the time, first place you're gonna go to TMZ, right? If it's entertainment news to see if it's true.
Yes.
And it's sad that when you see that it wasn't true.
It happens sometimes, man. It happens.
What if you die and you don't even know you dead and you gotta wait and you check your TMZ and they tell you that you dead? Then what?
I would check my Wikipedia. I would check the Wikipedia, not the TMZ.
I don't get it. If you die, you don't.
Just don't.
It's crazy that
don't
you still
engage,
listen to
Laura.
me.
Don't engage.
Yeah.
And that is front page news.
I'm just trying to figure it out. You know?
In the next hour, we'll talk about what's happening on the other side.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. Call us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa's filling in for Jess. And let's get back in some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
Yeah, so former President Trump, he's reacting to Vice President Kamala Harris's speech last night at the Democratic National Convention. Let's get into the audio and hear more from Trump.
She's not having success. I'm having success. I'm doing great with the Hispanic voters. I'm doing great with black men. I'm doing great with women because women want safety. They want safety.
I'm surprised he was up that late because that was a late one last night.
So on Truth Social,
he ain't hitting the same though.
He's not.
But I will say those tweets last night, hilarious, funniest he's been since he got shot at. But I do agree, he's not hitting the same. He is spiraling.
So on Truth Social, Trump posted in real time during the speech, questioning why Harris hasn't already accomplished the policy she was promising. He said she's had
Fair
3.5 years. She's had 3.5 years and has done nothing but harm. He later went on Fox News where he claimed Harris didn't talk about crime or how 70% of people are living in poverty, a number that the census shows is closer to 12%. Now, the Trump campaign is also teasing a special guest for the former president's rally today in Arizona. There have been reports that independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is considering dropping out of the race and endorsing Trump. So again, talking about policies now, Harris, during her speech, she did talk about some of her policy notes. She said ending the housing crisis, issuing middle-class tax cut, restoring women's reproductive rights, passing the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, signing the bipartisan border bill, ensuring America has the strongest and lethal the strongest and lethal fighting force, honoring the troops and getting the hostage and ceasefire deals done while also supporting our allies like Israel to defend itself. Now, meanwhile, a former Republican congressman had some choice words for Donald Trump at the DNC. Adam Kinzinger of Illinois was one of only 10 Republicans who voted to impeach Trump after the January 6th riot. Of course, at the DNC on Thursday night, Kinzinger endorsed Kamala Harris for president. Let's hear more from him.
I've learned something about the Democratic Party, and I want to let my fellow Republicans in on the secret. The Democrats are as patriotic as us. The Republican Party is no longer conservative. It has switched its allegiance from the principles that gave it purpose to a man whose only purpose is himself.
I mean, I respect it. I mean, but does that kill his political career if he had one as a Republican?
It should.
I don't think it should.
He was being honest, but
yeah, but to your point, I don't think they like it. You know.
Yeah, I don't think they like it, but I don't think parties should matter, man. I think you should just vote for whoever the best candidate is, regardless of whether you're a Democrat or Republican. I hate these people who are just beholden to their party just because. Like, if you don't like what your party is currently doing during a presidential election, then you might want to vote the other way. I don't have a problem with it.
That has been a common theme also throughout the DNC is purpose over party or, putting yourself, country over party is what the saying has been. Also who took the stage, civil rights leader Reverend Al Sharpton, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. He also took the stage with Gabby Giffords and pop star Pink. She's the one who performed. And when it comes to sports and politics, basketball superstar Stephen Curry, he endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris in her bid for the White House. In a surprise video that played at the DNC, Curry voiced his support for Harris. Let's hear more from Steph Curry.
I got to visit Kamala with my team in the White House last year, and I can tell you one thing I knew then, and I definitely know now. The Oval Office suits her well. This is about preserving hope and belief in our country, making sure families can be taken care of during their most precious times.
Yeah, so he said he believes Harris can bring unity back and move the country forward. Curry also said Harris will make sure that families are taken care of. Of course, he said that. And on the first night of the convention, Curry's Golden State Warriors coach, Steve Kerr, also spoke in support of Harris.
Now, it's always interesting when I see people like Steph Curry do that because, like I said, I was talking about Kenan Thompson yesterday. Most people in that position don't want to turn off any audience,
right?
Because Steph Curry sells jerseys to everybody, he sells sneakers to everybody. So Absolutely. It's always interesting to see. It's always interesting to see people like him step out there and do that.
Take a stance.
It goes back to that Jordan conversation, and I don't know how true that was when they asked Jordan to back somebody back in the day, and he says he wouldn't because he said Republicans and Democrats buy his sneakers. Right. So that's why he never stepped into that world. So yeah, like you said, it's dope to see Curry.
He takes balls.
Yep.
That's your front page news. Follow me on social at Morgan Media. And make sure you're following more news coverage at the Black Information Network. Download that free iHeartRadio app and visit BINnews.com. Talk to y'all. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, Morgan.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.